Howdy, I said I'd just go again with the video because I was driving there earlier and normally the internet is grand, but it was cutting out a little bit, so I said I'd just go over it again. I'm streaming live my Instagram as well, just for the crack. I said I'd do that. Crypto with Dinny. Instagram, if you're on Instagram, jump on and follow me, or if you're a tweeter, jump on Twitter. It's great to connect with more people on the other social medias. But I want to talk to you just a little bit about the regulatory issues that Binance have been having, because that will be in the news or is in the news, and creates a lot of doubts in people's minds, especially new people who don't really understand what's actually going on. So I'll just give you my take on it. And if you heard the video earlier, you might have got it. And but I just had a quick look at the comments, and people were like, "You're frozen." Oi, Dinny, what's story, Nicky? How's things? So the issue with Binance is they ran into regulatory concerns, and Binance has had, I don't know what the word is, unprecedented is a word that I learned during what's been happening over the last year, but the growth of Binance has been unbelievable, that the company has grown so fast. And maybe they took a few shortcuts to get that growth, because, now, sure, I'm only speculating, what do I know? But when it comes to crypto companies, and then we have traditional banking. So traditional banking companies fall under regulation, and the regulation is really, really tight. It's anti-money laundering laws, so AML or KYC, know your customer laws, which is all just a code word for tax collection, and we want to know exactly what you're doing with your money. So the banks are really tightly regulated under this, and crypto companies have been able to sort of circumvent it and get around it because they're decentralized, and it's, you know, it's unclear of which jurisdiction they fall into. You know, are you under Irish law or Irish jurisdiction, or are you in the UK? Where are you based? And because cryptocurrencies and it's online and it's digital property, which is untangible, I suppose, a lot of crypto companies have been able to, you know, sort of get around, circumvent all these regulatory laws. Plus there's uncertainty around the space in that regulators just haven't caught up with cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is innovating and growing so fast that they haven't caught up with the regulators yet, and the regulators haven't caught up with actually what the innovators, what the entrepreneurs are doing in the crypto space. But anyway, what's happened is with Binance is they ran into regulatory issues in the UK and in the Cayman Islands as well, and somewhere else, I think maybe US or something like that. But it's just that their onboarding process was too easy. And you'll notice that with a lot of crypto companies, it's just like, sign up, gives your name, gives your email, let's go, how much money do you want to put on our exchange? And the way I see it is, if you can't get away with it in a normal bank, well, you're not going to get away with it in crypto. Okay, you might get away with it for a little while, but the regulators will come knocking. So the crypto companies are going to have to up their game and tighten up on all the KYC and the AML laws. Otherwise, they'll be shut down. You know, they won't be able to operate in certain jurisdictions, and that's what's happened with Binance. So it's not a case that Bitcoin's being banned in the UK because they're banning the biggest exchange. It's just a case that the exchange wasn't following KYC. Bitcoin can't be banned. Most of you guys know that if you've had a little bit of crypto education. Only the on-ramps and off-ramps, i.e. a Binance, can be banned. It's a little wake-up call for anyone who holds their crypto on exchanges. Remember, they're only one phone call away from trouble. So it's, as I always say, and I'm not here to say I told you so, but I do tell this to people for this very reason, is if you hold your portfolio on an exchange, you know, you're now susceptible to counterparty risk, and if that exchange gets in trouble, you know, your portfolio can be in trouble. Why do that when we have these things called hardware wallets and you can self-custody your own crypto? That's the magic of Bitcoin. It's money that you can own. Okay, it's money you can take custody of, and none of you has recognized the value of that yet, but you will in the future, guys, because when cash doesn't exist, you will want some sort of money that you can own and money that you can spend. The whole world will. And there's loads of other incentives to owning Bitcoin and bonuses, but that's just one of them, is that you can actually custody your own money. That's the amazing thing about the asset. Guys, I appreciate you all being here, and it's great that you are here. Will you do me a favour? Do your little bit of exercise there and hit the like button, and drop in the comments. Paul and Nikki, it's awesome, guys. Thanks for the comments. Anyone on Facebookers, or I'm streaming on what's this one called? Instagram. Don't really do a whole lot of Instagram, but I started doing a bit of Instagramming. So I'm on Crypto with Dinny, so if you're on Instagram, jump on. Anyway, yeah, so what Binance are going to have to do now is they're going to have to go back and tighten up their KYC and try and comply with UK regulators to get permission to operate under that jurisdiction again. And what I was saying to you earlier was, this is only going to get worse. If you have the ability to buy Bitcoin now is the time to buy it. Because what a lot of people, particularly people who have done my courses, are finding is some of the Irish banks aren't crypto friendly and they just will not let you buy it. You can ring them up and go, it's my money and I want to buy this Bitcoin. Just let the transaction go through, and the bank will just go, sorry, no, we don't deal with cryptocurrency. And that's only going to get worse and worse and worse. So the time to buy a bit of Bitcoin or to try and get on your on-ramps is now, because the journey into crypto is only going to get more difficult. And all the exchanges are going to have to give they're going to have to give the information that a regular bank would have to do. They're going to have to follow under the exact same rules if they want to play in the game. And if they don't play by the rules of the game, the people who make up the rules won't let them play in the game. Last time you stream on the road, Dinny. Wayne Anthony Lord. I normally do driving and it's grand, lad. Just that time she wasn't good. I don't know why. There was no electricity in Lusk as well, or in Rush. So maybe that was something to do with it. But and it was in the van. Maybe the van doesn't let the internet in as well as the car. But yeah, that was just my 2 cents on what's going on with Binance, why it's happening. Is Bitcoin going to zero and being banned? Our country's going to ban it? Probably not. But unless the exchanges comply with AML and KYC rules, just like a regular bank would, they probably won't be allowed to operate. So, and also reduce your counterparty risk. Learn how to use hardware wallets. Learn how to use. It's because I wasn't in the i8. I know. I had the motorbike in the back of the van, so I couldn't fit it in the i8. But learn how to use your wallets or how to use custodians, because they're safer places to keep your crypto. And that's about all I have to say to you this evening. I just wanted to jump on and give you a more clear video, because I don't think the internet cutting in and out was doing any favours. What's the best wallet to buy? What's the best wallet to buy, and what's the most economically for me to do it? Ledger or Trezor, because and that's not because I'm like a tech genius and I understand what's in these, but Andreas Antonopoulos is, and I've been lucky enough to be mentored by him and coached by him, and Trezor and Ledger are the only 2 brands that he recommended to me, so that's the only 2 that I use, Paddy. And what's the most economically for me to do it? I don't really understand what you mean by that. But yeah, there are 2 brands anyway that I like the best and that I use. Hope you guys are feeling good and having a good day. Had a great day. I was out doing a bit of trials biking, and look forward to a good day tomorrow. One last thing. Some people message me and say it's a good time to buy Bitcoin because it's down now, and it depends what your strategy is. If it's a short-term strategy, well then you're a trader, and maybe it's a good time to buy if you think it's going to go higher. If you think it's at as low it's going to go. And thanks, Paul. And well, then it's a good time to buy. But if you're more an investor, so let's say, and I'll just give you a tangible example just for the crack. My dad bought his house for 14 grand, and it's probably worth, I don't know what it's worth now, 750 grand. It's a nice plot of land, lovely view. The house itself wouldn't be amazing, but I'd estimate it must be worth, it's got to be worth over $500,000. Definitely, sure, they're fucking selling house estates for $500,000 now. So it's about $750,000. He bought it for 14 grand. And then my uncle paid 22 grand for his house. And his house probably in around the same valuation, of course, of $1 million. Do you think it matters really if they're prepared to hold their house for 20 years? Does it really matter that they bought the house for 14 grand or 22 grand? It's not even worth thinking about when the house is worth 750 grand. What's worth thinking about is that you didn't buy the house back then and you have no house, and now you're trying to buy a house for 750 grand when you could buy houses for between 14 and 20 grand 30 years ago. So that's how I think is a better way to process how you think of Bitcoin and what you think of it. If you believe that Bitcoin is worth holding, like you guys know I do, it's not financial advice, but I believe Bitcoin is well worth holding into the future, and it's digital scarce property that is getting scarcer and scarcer, and more the world is wanting it every day. There's 3 million Bitcoin addresses opening up daily. Imagine what that'll be in a decade, okay? So if you believe that Bitcoin is worth holding and you're prepared to hold it for a decade or for at least 4 years, I tell people, well, then it probably doesn't really matter, because normally in a 4-year cycle, Bitcoin does over 1,000%. If you're the short termer, and we all come in to get rich quick, don't worry, I done it as well. But it doesn't work. You just get poor quick when you have that attitude and you use that strategy. You just get wrecked. But if you have you have a low time preference, which means time isn't a massive priority. You're prepared to hold on to something for a period of time. I don't think the short term volatility that we go through and see today and experience doesn't fucking matter. Do you know what I mean? If Bitcoin, like at the end of the decade, Bitcoin is either worth 750 grand or $1 million, or it's gone to zero. That's the trade. That's the bet. Okay, and you can allocate accordingly. Some people will say it can't go to zero anymore. That's past. But that's the only place it goes. It doesn't stay at 30 grand to 60 grand. It only goes to the moon or to zero. They're the only two options. So if you have a small, you can take your bets accordingly. and that's sort of how we do it. Guys, I'm going to jump off here now. It's great to have everyone on. Have a great evening. Anyone who's on Bitcoin Basics, it's an amazing place to start. You won't believe the people who message me and they're asking basic questions that they should know, and they're in crypto like a year or 2 years and they haven't grasped the basics. If you want a shortcut to getting a basic understanding of Bitcoin, I would say a basic understanding would put you ahead of 90, maybe not 90, maybe 75% of people who are in Bitcoin, especially new people, definitely new people. 90% of Bitcoin, 90% of them you'll be ahead of. But to get a basic understanding of it, consider my Bitcoin Basics. It'll cost you 29 euros. I give you 20 quid of free crypto. And as I said to someone who was hating on one of my Facebook posts there, I was like, do the course. He knew it all. Do the course. If you get no value, I'll give you your money back. And you can keep the 20 quid. But the course sort of cuts through all the noise and just gives you the basics, the need to know information, so you can start to build your thesis around it from there, and build your understanding around it from there. Because YouTube is great for learning, and I learn from that all the time, but it's so loud, there's so much information, it's like you're scattered. Do you know what I mean? You need to be laser focused and try and understand one thing. You know, if you try and do everything, you get nothing done. And that's just what works for me. If I'm laser focused on one thing, I can do a really good job at that one thing, and then I can sort of move away from it because I'll achieve it in a very short period of time. Whereas if I'm trying to learn everything, I'm trying to learn about XRP and whatever other stuff, you know, some people have spent a decade trying to understand Bitcoin. So what chance have you if you're trying to understand 15 different ones, and every fucking Wednesday someone's talking about a new one? You know, so be laser focused. Have a great evening. If you haven't done your exercise, press the like button for me, please. Throw the comments in. I'm enjoying seeing the same names popping up and getting to know some of you guys, so it's awesome. Have a great evening. If you, and if you're on the Bitcoin Basics, happy days. If you're not, I know the Bitcoin Bootcamp this weekend is sold out, but in the future, we'd be delighted to have you on the Bootcamp if you want to go deep and learn a lot. You'll see all the info on my website, Crypto with Dinny, if you want to see what's covered on the two courses. But it's good crack. I enjoy meeting people, enjoy networking, having the banter, having the crack, and yeah, that's it. So Binance, they've got a bit of work to do to get themselves back in the game, and those who do comply will be the companies that sort of stick around, and those who don't comply will probably run into regulatory issues. So if you're using an exchange and the onboarding experience was really easy, I'd be a little bit like, right, okay, I might want to move my crypto off this exchange, because it was quite easy. I didn't have to give my passport, I didn't have to give my driver's license, I didn't have to give my PPS number, I didn't have to give pay slips, I didn't have to give proof of address, I didn't have to give a utility bill. Well, then they're not tight on KYC, because that's what you need to do if you want to open a bank account. Guys, have a great evening. It's been awesome to have you all here. Johnny, thanks man, on Instagram. Take care everyone. Dinny out. eToro is fake Bitcoin. I'll just finish with that, Rory. I teach you how to buy real Bitcoin, but it's just, the only reason for that is you're just cracking the market price. I'm not saying it's terrible, it suits some people, gets them interested in it, but the great thing about crypto is you can take custody of it, you can leverage it, you can borrow against it, you can earn interest off it, you can loan it, and you can't do any of that on eToro. But you can't get exposure to the price action, so it is good for getting interested. Guys, good night. Dinny out.